Hey there, CHFFL. Welcome to what is our 11th season from West Central Georgia. This is your commissioner who is licensed to practice law in one or more states. I'm here to give you a quick rundown of what we have to do for the preseason, which is from whenever you see this through the first week of the NFL, and you know it's our busiest time of year. So, big things. First, the draft lottery is happening tomorrow night, right here, wherever you found this video. At 6 p.m. Conference draft will happen in the next few days, presumably. Parker and Wes are going to pick conferences. That doesn't really affect everybody's plans too much, but it's something that has to happen for me to do the schedule. Draft pick trading will be enabled after I have processed all of the trades from last year. I like to wait to do the lottery before that, just so I can see where the pick numbers are. So that'll happen probably within the next week. You'll be able to trade draft picks. Keeper deadline is going to be probably 2 weeks before we draft. I think that's what we did last year, and it worked pretty well. The draft itself will be either the last week of August or the next to last week of August. I'll look at the preseason schedule and know how hard that is, so I need a lot of communication from everybody in the Hangouts on what they can do, what their flexibility is, and we'll try to figure something out. Trophies from last year they're coming, and I take all the blame. Swan is our memorabilia chair, and as the commissioner, I should have been communicating with him better. We just had a mix-up, but they are coming, and we're going to keep doing trophies every year, so you'll still have them on time to show throughout this season. Okay, we have rule changes to discuss. Buy-in is the big one. We've been waiting for everybody to have a job, and some idiot wanted to go to law school, which kind of dragged that out, and now we all should have jobs. I don't actually know I hope you guys are all still doing well. That means we're doing the Bucks for Bucks scholarship, which I'm sure everybody has heard me talk about at this point, but if you haven't, we're doing a Bucks for Bucks scholarship at Chartiers Houston, even Wes, who is not a Chartiers Houston graduate. It's going to be $50 from every player. This is mandatory, and it's included with your league buy-in. That'll give us a $600 total scholarship, which I think is really good, and that lets all of us give back to the school where this started. I also think we could bump up the buy-in. It's been $35 with an extra $5 for trophies and such. I was thinking we could go to maybe 50, or maybe even a little higher, and instead of just putting everything into the top 3 payout, we could do a payout per week for the highest score, or we could do the final week. We could go back to the bowl week where I make an actual playoff bracket for all 12 teams, and if you win your final game, you're going to get something, even if it's like $1 for not being last place. We could do little bonuses like that. So we'll all discuss that and see where everybody's feeling. I don't want to pressure anybody to having to put too much that they're unwilling to, but I'm not budging on the $50 for the scholarship. PPR we did last year. I think it went okay. I think half PPR would be my personal preference, but we'd have to go to fractional scoring, and I know some people are against that. So I just like to have a little dialogue on what we feel about PPR and if we want to do it for a second season. Keeper rules, how have they been doing? We had our first season where we actually had kept players participating last year. I think it was awesome. I think the trade deadline was super fun with buyers and sellers. But I'd like to have feedback and know what you guys think. Remember, now that we are a keeper league, stuff like PPR, we might have to wait a year before we can do any changes, because I don't want to screw people over who were planning on keeping somebody who's much better under certain rules than other rules. Something to keep in mind. FAAB, I think Max brought this up first in chat, either Max or Wes, but this is a free agent acquisition budget. So sounds complicated. It's really not. Right now, we use the waiver system, which is after the games are played each week in the NFL, you go into the free agency and pick who you want, and you hope that you have the highest waiver priority, which I'm willing to bet that most of us don't even think about until we want something. Free agent acquisition budget is you get some made up points. You can think of it like money your team has to spend on free agents, and you put in bids every week whenever you want to pick somebody up off of waivers, and whoever has the highest bid wins. Therefore, I like it because our league, I think, tends to have a lot of don't ever use your waiver and just wait for people to go off of waivers and onto free agency, and then at 4 a.m. we're all clicking. With the FAAB, you can be a little bit more gutsy because you're not going to drop from the top slot to 12. If anybody needs a further explanation on that, I can write out one that might be a little easier to understand. And let's just hear thoughts on both sides for that too. 17 weeks, we're one of the only leagues that still does that. I personally am fine with that, and I can argue why I'm fine with that. But if anybody is upset with being 17 weeks, open to shifting to what the norm is, which is 16. If you have, and then finally, submit any others. If you have something else you'd like to talk about that I didn't get to here, you're going to be hearing from me a lot this season, I have a feeling. So just communication, a lot of it, everywhere, all the time. Speaking of connection, how we're going to do it, Hangouts is still going to be how we're chatting. I'm going to send everybody a text because I haven't been seeing responses there, and I don't know if some of you don't use Gmail and you just aren't checking it. Twitter, I'm going to try to be a little more active with the CHFFL commish handle. I don't do Twitter personally. Social media is cancer, but for this I will. And it's going to be in conjunction with videos. I'm hoping this video is definitely not more than 10 minutes, and I'd like to keep putting out videos that are of a reasonable size so people will actually watch them. That's going to be my main method of communicating with you guys, rather than typing up stuff onto the league page like I have done in the past, because I'm a lawyer now, I write a lot of things, and I don't want to also do that when I come home. So get used to the videos. I have a new microphone. It's nice. That's all I have for right now. Thank you for watching, and Draft Lottery tomorrow, 6 p.m. We'll see you then. Goodbye.